3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody to Tonight in STEM. I'm your host, Juan. This is the show where I interview professionals in the field of, well, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Today I have a very special guest, individual who I met through SHPE Santa Barbara, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. Armando Veloz, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you, Juan. Thank you for having me.
So, the reason I wanted to get Armando on is because I've known his career. He has a lot of experience. He's actually soon to be retired, so congratulations on that, Armando.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. So I guess we'll get started. Armando, I understand you weren't born in the United States. You actually came to the United States at age of 16.
Right.
So why did you, at what age you came at age 16, but why did you come over to the United States?
Yeah. The main reason is that part of my family was here already. We are a big family. There's a family of 11 children, and mom and dad. And way back in 1973, the family started kind of like moving around. My second older brother ended up in Mexico City. I had 3 sisters that were married. The rest of my brothers came to Oxnard in 1973. So at some point, I was all by myself in TJ, Tijuana. And and so my mom started going through the immigration process for all the kids that were here. And so one day she came to TJ and we went to the consulate, U.S. consulate, and tried to get our paperwork straight. And she asked me, "Do you want to go to the U.S.?" I said, "Yes, let's go." And so that night I just left without telling anybody. I just, got in the car and came to the U.S. It was a quick decision, but I think it's probably one of the best ones I've ever made.
Oh, well, yeah, you're here now and have an engineering degree. But before we get into that, so you graduated, you attended high school here. So did you know English already, or how was that transition?
It was very tough. When I took like maybe 3-4 years of English in TJ in Mexico, and I did learn. I could read, I could write some, but I couldn't speak much. And so my first year or half a year in Oxnard, I was put in a part-time basis to see if I could handle the classes. And so I went to school for half a day, and I did well. I got a couple of B's and maybe an A. And then the following semester, I started in December of '73 for the rest of the semester, and then the semester finished, and then the next semester I went full time. And so I set a goal for myself of us being able to speak in about 3 years. And so, it's been a long time now. So I think I was able to do it.
So at what point did you know you wanted to do engineering?
I was really little. I was in TJ, and I was
really?
probably
So it started really before high school.
Yes, I was probably in 4th or 5th grade. And so what happened was my brother, for a Christmas gift, my oldest brother, gave me a little radio, little transistor radio. And one of those, way back. And I used to listen to the radio every night to baseball games.
Oh, okay.
The team in San Diego, across the border. And so, we used to listen to the games in Spanish, the home games, but then when they were away, then it had to be in English because the Mexican station wouldn't follow them.
Correct.
And so I started listening to the games. And so at some point, the radio stopped working. So
how old were you?
I was about 11 or 10. Yeah, that was probably, I was actually 11 because that was in 1969, in April of 69. And so I was 11 going on 12. And so I wanted to fix that radio because it was one of the highlights of my day.
Yeah.
Listening to games. So I opened up the radio. I couldn't fix it, but I knew I wanted to fix things at least at that age. And then after that, the neighborhood started coming to me and asking to fix things like TVs and record players and stuff like that, tape recorders. And I was pretty successful even at that age. Mostly, trial and error, but that's how I got interested.
So do you have any guidance at all, any mentors, or were you just very hands-on?
Yeah, it was all hands on for engineering, for electronics. My brother, my second older brother, at that time he moved to Mexico City to attend engineering, and he was like my role model. I kind of wanted to be like him. He ended up getting a PhD
Oh,
in
okay.
electronic communications. He works for Intel now,
Oh,
so he
wow.
was my role model. Not as smart as he is, but I followed his footsteps.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
then, after high school at Channel Islands High School, you went to UCSB.
Yep.
Um, and how was that? Why UCSB? Was that just because it was close by, or
No,
did you have know people there already?
I was really lucky. I've been lucky in a lot of occasions throughout. When I was a senior in high school, we had recruiters from UCSB to try to get Hispanics into the school. And at one of the classes in the morning, they read the bulletin board. So they read the bulletin board, and they were having a meeting at the library. And so I figured, I'll go to the library, see what happens. And yeah, sure enough, there was this guy. I still remember his name. His name is Joe Rizzo, and he was an engineering student. And he gave me all the advice I needed to apply. And I applied, and yeah, that was the only school that I knew about. And so I applied. I got admitted through special admissions, mainly because I didn't have all the requirements. I hadn't come from Mexico the previous year, and so I got admitted through special educations. The program was called EOP, Educational
Okay.
Opportunity Program.
Yeah, they're still around.
Okay, and so I got in, and then once I got in, I just kind of worked hard and got out in 4 years.
So did you apply to UCSB as an electrical engineer? Did they
Yes,
have
yes.
electrical, or was it called something else?
It was called electrical engineering,
Okay.
and I applied as an EE major, and I got accepted. And I think maybe a couple of years after, the name was changed to electrical and computing engineering,
Okay.
ECE. And I
So
don't know if they have that. No, they don't have that anymore. Now it's called either CE or EE. There's
okay.
two different majors.
And then
So I'm
how many Latinos were at
um,
UCSB in the engineering field?
in engineering, we had probably at the beginning, I'm trying to think, maybe around 10, around that many. Toward the end, I think we graduated about 6
Okay.
out of the 10, which
Huh.
is pretty, yeah. And yeah, it was a good experience at UCSB. Very hard major and a lot of work, but yeah, I managed to get through.
So right now you're involved with SHIP Santa Barbara,
Yes.
but I know when you are UCSB, you're
Yeah.
involved at a group called Los Ingenieros, also
Yes.
SHIP. I know they're Mayas now. Um, kind of all three groups,
Yeah.
STEM groups called Los Ingenieros.
Right.
But you can talk about the fun because you were one of the founders
Yeah.
of Los Ingenieros or one of the first members.
And one of the first members, we had about 8 members at the beginning, and it all started with one of our students. His name is Frank Lucero. He's like the father of LI. And he started kind of recruiting engineering students. I was a junior when we started. And we were small. We used to have our meetings in ID at different people's apartments. And we visited a couple of companies. We had speakers come in. And then, I graduated and the group continued. The organization continued. And Frank stayed the president for probably 2 or 3 years. And then to this day, the organization still exists and is pretty successful. But yeah, I was a member since the beginning, since 1978.
So you mentioned actually IV Isla Vista. Isla Vista is the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
town next to UCSB. How
See
was
Santa
it back
Barbara.
then? Because right now it's known to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
party
yeah,
place, party
yeah.
central basically.
hmm Yeah, it was very different. We didn't have these big Halloween parties. We actually had kids coming and trick or treating to
Okay.
the apartments. So that was kind of fun. The population, it was not as crowded before also, and I think I liked it a lot better before than now. It's a little out of control.
Yeah. So while you were at UCSB,
hmm
how was getting your electrical engineering major? How was that process?
Yeah.
What, did you have any time
Mhm.
where you kind of like, oh, I want to switch majors, or any failures, or
Uh-huh.
how were classes?
Yeah, my first year was not too bad. I had mostly the sciences taken care of. I had chemistry, I had math. I believe I may have had some physics, and no engineering quite yet.
Okay.
My second year is when things got really, really rough. And I knew that about switching, but I did think about quitting.
Oh, okay.
But I knew I liked it. After my first midterm, it was called Circuits, Devices, and Systems. After my first midterm, I did really bad. Me and another guy down the hall, we were in the dorms at that point. We both got the worst grade in the class. And so, I went to my dorm in Santa Rosa, DC, Santa Barbara, and I thought about it a lot, and I cried a little bit. And then I found out my buddy down the hall did the same thing. So I figured, okay, so
A little comfort.
yeah, a little comfort. My roommate, on the other hand, sharp guy, he did get 100%.
Oh.
But later on, I believe, I don't know if it was the same year. Could have been the same year, or could have been or same quarter, or maybe the next quarter. I did manage to get on one of the tests 100%. So I kind of knew that
Nice.
I was going to stay.
Did you know what you wanted to do after UCSB?
Yeah, I didn't know exactly what kind of specific electrical engineering field I would get into. I had interviews. I had about 4 interviews,
Okay.
and 2 of them, you just can't tell that there's no match at all. One was with IBM at the time, and it was a software position, and I could never do software.
Come on, it's not that hard.
I know.
I am a little biased.
Yeah, my son tells me that too. But and so that didn't work out. I had another interview with a telephone company. I forgot the name of that company, but that didn't work either. And then I had an interview with ITT, which is International Telephone and Telegraph. I don't even know if they still exist. I think they do, in Vandenberg Air Force Base in Lompoc. And they did make an offer. That was RF, communications. And they did make an offer. And then I had my interview with General Motors Corporation here in Goleta. Delco Systems is the name of the company. And they also made an offer. A better offer. And I was living in Isla Vista here in Goleta, so it was a really easy decision. And so I ended up doing analog and power and some software, but not much at all, design. So mainly an analog designer with some power background, and lately some electromagnetic interference stuff.
So what was some of the projects you did at Delco?
At Delco, okay. At the beginning, the very first project was kind of cool. Actually, the very first one was all analysis. We did some analysis, a tolerance analysis on a clock that was used in a microprocessor. So it was all math. It was good, and I think it was mostly a hand. It wasn't even a computer. We didn't use computers for that analysis. But then after that, my first project, and that was a really cool one. It was to design a voltage regulator that would be used in oxygen sensors for the General Motor cars. And that was a really good project because it was my first one out of college, and it was like my probationary period. So they gave me 6 months to do it, and I did finish it. It didn't quite work exactly like we wanted to. It was called a low dropout regulator, which means that if you have a voltage coming in, you want to be able to put a voltage as close to the input as you can. And we were required to work down to 8 volts on battery voltage. And we came up a little short, and so we weren't able to use it in production. But that was my very first project. And I did have a mentor that helped me out a lot with that project. It was a really good one. I really liked that one.
So you
it never got
for a long time, right?
Yes.
So what made you stay? I know you mentioned a mentor, but did you feel comfortable there? Were they inviting? What made you successful there?
At Delco, one of the things, it's always the job satisfaction. I liked automotive. I didn't know much about cars, especially the electrical systems.
Correct.
So I learned a lot about that. And General Motors is a really good company. And I like the whole idea of being able to move on within the company. And even though I was always technical, I kind of liked it. I liked it very much. The salary was good since the beginning, And so things like that, a combination of the salary and the work were what made me stay with GM.
So from Delco, so the General Dynamics bought Delco.
Yeah.
You had a transition there. How was that?
Yeah. What happened with General Motors and Delco is we did have a different business units. We had a computers business unit that was the purpose of it was to design computers and build computers for different applications. We had an inertial navigation systems group that dealt with that. Then we also had a automotive group, which is the one I started in, and then we had the military portion of it. And so I ended up through downsizing of GM of Delco, I ended up with the military group. And so toward the end, we went from about 2,500 employees to about 200 employees.
Oh wow!
And luckily I was one part of this
Yeah.
200, which was the military part of it. And so General Dynamics bought us specifically because we won a big contract with the Army. The vehicle is called a Striker vehicle. It's a big contract. And so General Dynamics was really interested in having rights to that vehicle. So they paid a bunch of money to get us and a division in Canada. They paid a bunch of money for us. And so little did we know that 2 years later, General Dynamics would lay us off and just keep the product. So that's what happened. In
So what happened after that?
After
Because I imagine you would well, I would imagine I would be a little bit worried about finding the next job.
Okay.
You probably have a family and supporting
Yeah,
them. And
there was one really good thing about General Dynamics and General Motors combined. They combined to make our separation benefits really, really good. What ended up happening is that for about 2 years, we got about 100% of our pay. Actually, it was 18 months, I believe, between GM and GD and unemployment together. So we had a really good.
You were covered.
Yes, we were covered for at least a year and a half. And so General Dynamics laid us off in 2004. And then, I was one of the first ones to request a separation, and because I thought I was going to be working at Raytheon, and that didn't work out. And so I spent a lot of time with my son in the summer painting the house. And then along came an offer from General Dynamics of all companies to work with them, help them out in some electromagnetic interference testing. And so I took that, as a contractor.
Yeah.
And that lasted from about October through December of 2004. In the meantime, several of the employees from General Motors started forming a company. And that company, they asked me if I wanted to join. I guess sure, why not? We still had a few benefits left, but I wanted to keep active. And so we started a company called Advanced Integrated Systems. Officially got started in 2005. And so that's how it went from General Dynamics to Advanced Integrated Systems.
So now you're working at Moog, Space and Defense Group.
Yes.
You're gonna actually also be retiring very soon, I know. How's that been there, and how are you preparing yourself to actually retire?
Okay. So the transition from Advanced Integrated Systems to Moog, we kept doing the same products. We do military work, we do weapon systems, we do turrets for light armor vehicles, and so Moog is interested in that product, and so they went ahead and bought our company, Advanced Integrated Systems, and so they could complement their capabilities. They also they make a lot of products. They make actuators, they make flight controls, they make valves, they make lots of different products. And so you can see some of the flight controls that they do, which is one part of a lot of different businesses that Moog has. Moog is actually a really big company. We're probably one of the smallest divisions of Moog here in Goleta. And so they bought us, and the transition was a little difficult because now we're back again with a big company. But it's been turning out okay. We get some of the benefits that we didn't have before. Vacation is good. Medical stuff is good. And so Moog is a really good company, and I'm glad that I'm working for Moog now. And I'm going to retire from Moog unless they retire me first. Yeah.
So I've always wondered, how does it feel to actually finally retire? You've worked
Yeah,
so long, so many interesting projects. You learned so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
How do you
I
feel? How do
get
you prepare yourself mentally for this?
Yeah, I kind of, when things are really rough at work, deadlines are looming and you work a lot, then you look forward to it. But then sometimes very interesting projects come up and you kind of have mixed feelings, kind of wish I could stick around to do that. But I think in general, I've been volunteering at the school since mid '80s, so a long, long time ago. Every year I do some volunteer work. And I think when I look at some of the successes that students have, then I think I'm not going to regret retiring. I probably will miss some of the work, but I think I'll be helpful with my volunteer work. And so, I think I'm ready for it, I think. Um, at worst, it's going to be probably in about a little over a year and a half from now.
Okay.
And so there's still time to change my mind, but I think I'm going to
Yeah.
be okay. We looked
um,
at the numbers, and I think we can do it. My wife is going to work a little longer because we need health benefits, and then after
that's
that, I'll
always the
be able
thing.
to, yeah, to start, taking some of the money out from the 401k accounts that we have.
Yeah. So I
So we
guess
should be
so you mentioned your volunteer,
fine.
kind of how much you volunteer,
Yeah,
especially to the Santa Barbara community in the STEM. I really want to talk about that because, yeah, you've been volunteering for a long time. That's how I met you through SHIP. I know you do a lot of Noche de Ciencias, a lot of activities with elementary schools. Can you give a little bit of a background what you do and I guess why you do it?
okay. I think the reason is probably to show all students that we're underrepresented still, and to be so nice that we can increase our numbers in the STEM fields. And so I think that's the reason I do it. And one of the things that I know is that when I was a student, we didn't have much support. It all started with Los Ingenieros, and we did get a lot of support there. The organization continued, so I kind of stayed involved the whole time. And I've seen so many ingenieros graduate that it's kind of really cool to see it. And then later in the later years, then the Santa Barbara City College started their own SHIP chapter, and so that was another opportunity to try to help out our students. And so we kind of work with them also with their student chapter, and then also with the little ones, we try to go out to their science nights, and we get little ones from kindergarten all the way to sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth grades, just to show them that give them a little bit of what engineering is all about, and hopefully get them interested in STEM. We also do. We used to do some high school talks. We try to get as many alumni back, like you guys, to talk to your students at the City College or UC Santa Barbara, and just because you guys are such good role models. It's nice for them to see you, which look a lot like them, be successful. And so I think that's why I do it.
So right now I'm actually showing the SHIP
Hmm.
local Santa Barbara professional chapter website, and I see Armando right here as a chapter
Yeah,
representative this year.
yeah, yeah. This year, I've been some kind of officer throughout since
I think you've
'93,
had every position, correct?
except Treasurer. That's
Okay.
the one I haven't done. Yeah, I've done internal, external, secretary a few times, and so this year I guess we didn't have quite a position, so they put me as chapter representative, and but I still do a lot of the STEM stuff, and so it's I like to stay involved as much as I can.
So have you seen actual change and increase in STEM majors, Latino specifically,
You know,
or
that's a,
has it been the
yeah.
same? Like how's
It has varied. Sometimes we get a peak, at least out of UC Santa Barbara. I'm mostly familiar with UC Santa Barbara,
mm-hmm.
and I'm getting a little more familiar with Santa Barbara City College. But there's years where we get a peak of about maybe 15, which is really good. This year we had kind of a low number. I think we had, don't know exactly how many, but it was not 15. Maybe we had about 6 or 7. So we do see like a cycle for some reason, not sure why. I don't know how many started, and I know we lose some along the way, and that's one of the biggest reasons we have our programs. Like our mentor program with both UC Santa Barbara and Santa Barbara State
E-buddies,
College.
right?
Yes, eBuddies. eBuddies is a mentor program where we try to team up with the students and help them out as much as we can. With the work sales, we try to take them to our companies. We do resume writing. We do mock interviews, and just try to help them out to graduate. The goal is to graduate, and hopefully they will do the same after graduation. And that way we can just keep going and start growing as an engineering community.
So, after you retire, what are your plans? Are you gonna be more involved in the community?
Yeah, I don't know about
You deserve a vacation. Come on, also.
I don't know about more, but I am thinking about staying with the elementary schools. I'm doing science every other week at the Ivy school, and that's a perfect thing because it's not that much, and it's electricity and magnetism, which is
Hey,
cool
your
stuff.
favorite thing? Yeah. No,
Yeah,
yeah. When I go help out and volunteer, I see always Armando there, and
yeah,
he's always playing with the little kids. Like he's like one of part of them, the little kid too, playing with the motors, getting all excited, and it's fun
yeah,
because it motivates the little kids also to say, "Hey, this is fun too. Hey, it's science also. You're learning, and it's really exciting." And I guess
yeah.
Armando's passion to help out and volunteer is very contagious. It
Yeah, and
definitely
that's
definitely hit me.
right. And I do see you and a few other ones, coming back and getting involved and staying involved. It's I think it's kind of difficult because you get your own job now, but any time you can spend with the kids is so important to them. You could see it in their comments. The end of the year, they write little comments about how they enjoy the class and
Oh.
how they would like to be
That must be the
engineers.
best feeling, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good feeling. I've been keeping them all for years. I'm gonna one of these days put them somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe scan them or something. But it's really really cool. And then they do say I do want to be an engineer. I do enjoy the science. I find out that I like science. Things like that that will
Yeah,
make a difference hopefully in the
that's
future.
cool. Yeah, I guess what's your favorite little engineering project?
Um, there's several, but I do like the electric motor,
Okay.
and mainly because it's simple
Can you
and it
describe it
does.
for the people that don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking about?
sure. It's a simple electric motor, and the components of the electric motor is a D cell, and the D cell will provide the electrical current that is going to pass through an electromagnet. The electromagnet is a coil of wire that has the ends insulation removed, so you can put current through it. And then you also have a permanent magnet. And so you have a D cell, you have a couple of paper clips that will hold the electromagnet, and you have a permanent magnet right underneath. And so as current passes through the electromagnet, you generate a magnetic field and that interacts with the permanent magnet, and then it provides the repulsion and the attraction between two magnets that makes the motor spin. And we have all the kids, the fourth graders build it, and there's an
Yeah,
example
I
of
found a little picture. Yeah, exactly like
yeah, that's
this.
cool. Yeah, yeah. Ours is slightly different, but it's the same principle. And our goal every year is to have every kid have a working electromagnetic electric motor, and the kids, thanks to SHIP funding, the kids get to keep their motors and take it home and show it to their parents, and it's kind of exciting for the guys. And there's always something that may not work, and they get a little frustrated. But once they make it work, I tell them, hey, it worked once, so you can make it work again.
It's
That's
part of the
where
learning experience. Yeah.
yep, yeah, and you'll see some really good ones, and you'll see some, more or less. But some of those kids do a really good job,
Yeah.
and so that's probably one of my favorites. I also like to build speakers, and those are cool
Oh
too.
yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah,
Very
and
similar
we've got
principle too.
yeah, same principle. And it's pretty exciting to actually get sound out of a piece of paper. It's kind of exciting and get movement out of a simple
Those
parts.
vibrations, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah,
No, I just wanted to bring up that you've also received a lot of awards,
some,
recognizing
yeah.
all your commitment and volunteer work for STEM and community. I know in, let's see, my in 2001, you
Mm,
received the SHIP National Junipero Serra Award, right?
yes, yes, and that was cool. It was, I mentioned before that, way back at the time, the awards are nice, but I didn't appreciate them as much as I do now because it's recognition of the work, and that is a cool thing. But yeah, it was done for the same reason, involvement with the community in STEM fields.
Yeah.
And I have
Yeah, do you have the magazine?
yeah, I got the magazine right here.
Let's see.
Kept it.
Oh, oh, there we go. Hey, you have a mustache.
Yeah, but more hair,
Yeah,
less wrinkles and everything.
that
But
was
yeah,
back in
that was
2001.
yeah,
Well, congratulations for that one.
yeah, thank you. It was a cool award that I got way back.
And also, I know in 2002,
Mhm.
you received the Lifetime Achievement Award
Yeah.
from Los Ingenieros.
Yeah, and that was a really nice one too. At the time, the president of Los Ingenieros, his name is Diego Rey. He was the president, and I guess I don't know who came up with the idea, but I had been involved with Los Ingenieros probably for almost 20 years at the time, and they came up with this award, and I accepted it gladly. They called it a lifetime achievement, but I was only 45 at the time, and I
Hey, it's a
told Diego,
lifetime.
yeah, I know. I told Diego, hey, I'm only 45. So that was really nice because the award is still it has continued, and every year is given to Los Ingenieros alumni that is continue to work with the community in the STEM fields. Los Ingenieros is the group of engineering students at UCSB.
And I guess, yes, the last award I would like to bring up that I was part of the SHIP Santa Barbara professional chapter was Armando Veloz Engineering of the Year.
Yeah.
Just last year.
Yes,
Is it?
I was
Yeah.
actually 20, yeah, last academic year.
Last
It's
academic
this
year,
year in
correct.
February, I guess. And that was nice. It was nomination by our chapter. And, it's a nomination, and then you attend a dinner, and then you get the award. And we also had a project of the year that one of our ship members got. Tien for a cool
Mm-hmm.
project that he had having to do with infrared vision.
Oh, yeah,
Infrared
I'll
cameras.
definitely have to get him on to talk about
Yeah.
that.
So we do good things in Ship Santa Barbara, which you're part of now, Juan. We'll
Yes,
be
hey,
getting
I'm following
more
your footsteps, and you've been definitely very inspiring.
yeah, and that's what we need. We need more people like you that will continue this. We can only be, we're getting old, and so not quite tired yet, but eventually I'm gonna get a little tired. Not tired of doing it, but just tired physically. And we do need more students like you. And I know there are a few out there.
There are many, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's
and
actually many of them.
yeah,
And one hard thing I mentioned before is that you guys all have full-time jobs and it's hard to get away. But do it as much as you can. Do it on weekends. Do it after work. And yeah, we'll see more and more of us out there, and which is a really cool thing.
yeah. Well, I know 1 year, yeah, 1 year you're about to retire, so we'll definitely see you out there volunteering.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Um,
Um, no, I think just advice in general to all of us ingenieros,
you read my mind.
yeah, that are watching us. Just do your best to help out our students. You guys do make a difference. You do make a difference, believe it or not. They look up to you. You're a lot closer in age than I am, and so especially the college students. The college students are just about your age still. They're barely
Correct,
21.
yeah.
And so it's a really good motivation for them to stick with the engineering career. I know it is difficult because I've been through it, and it's difficult because you've done it. But we're out there, so that means that pretty much anybody that puts their mind to it can do it. So
Yeah,
just stay involved and keep being a good role model.
yeah, I think it's actually very, very crucial to keep like a path connected from, yeah, getting them when they're very young in elementary school and then moving to the high schoolers, keep them there active, tell them what STEM is, the science can be cool, and then building that connection, so from high school to a city college or 4-year university, and also having that connection once you graduate, having that support group to kind of always kind of loop back and volunteer and help out. And I think Armando is a very good example of that. And I really want to thank Armando for all his time and just hard work and dedication, just excitement and energy he brings out to give out and volunteer to all the elementary school, high school students, and now SHPE Santa Barbara. I think with that, again, thank you, Armando, and I definitely look up to you, and just every time I go out to SHPE SB, it's Armando here, because you bring in such a positive vibe and energy.
Yeah, and I enjoy it too. It's kind of keeps me young, but I really enjoy being with the students. It's a lot of fun.
So I guess it's that time to kind of bring for the tip trick of the week. Armando has a very important one that I've actually also noticed talking to a lot of peers, and I'll let Armando take that away.
Yes. And so, one of the things I've noticed is we do a lot of resume reviews for students, and we do, this is for college students that are looking either for permanent work or for a summer internship. And so when we review their resumes, we look at their projects. And then when it comes down to having a mock interview, I usually ask about what's in the resume, because they should really know what's in the resume. So one of the things I've noticed is that sometimes if the project is a little bit old, maybe a year or two ago, they have a hard time explaining what the project is about. And so my tip to you is know exactly 100% what's in your resume. When you go out to an interview, you will be asked technical questions from your resume. And so before you go to interview, review your resume, look at your technical projects, and be prepared to have questions asked about that, and be really well prepared to answer them. Practice the response and be really confident. That's my tip.
I can definitely speak to that because I've done many interviews. I recently graduated, so I had a lot of interviews, and everything you put on that resume is fair game for them for questions and experience, and it's good to back it up. So that's good. So thank you, Armando, and definitely coming from Armando, he's noticed a lot. He's interviewed a lot, so he definitely speaks with a lot of experience.
Yep.
So my tip trick of the week is also on the resumes. Basically, with more and more as technology advances, as you upload resumes to computer systems that basically filter out your resume based on GPA and other criteria, to kind of copy and paste your resume and paste it into a word cloud kind of generator. This basically achieves to see how frequent words show up. So one of the criteria I know computer systems use, resume systems use to filter out if they have to find the appropriate candidate is to do how common a word shows up. For example, if you're applying for a computer, let's say a computer programmer position, a software engineering position, and they're looking for Java, they're going to enter and hope to expect from your resume Java keywords, right? So if you can include Java or other computer-related words in your resume a lot, that's a +1 for you. That's definitely makes you stronger candidate. So I want to show you what a word cloud kind of looks like. So this there's a lot of tools out there. Basically, you can copy and paste your resume, the text, into this word cloud, and now would come out how frequent a word comes out. For example, in this word cloud, the bigger the word means it comes out more. So, for example, media, social, public, these words show up more. So in your case, if you're applying to a specific job, say software engineering, you want Java, you want computers, you want software, you want IDEs to come out and be bigger than anything else. That way, when you upload your resume to a computer system, you'll have a +1. It's good feedback and good to kind of do. So that's my kind of tip trick of the week. Yeah, so I don't know. Have you seen this, Armando?
No, I haven't. Looks like a really cool tool. It's just available from
Yeah, so
Microsoft.
so what I do is I just on Google just put in Word is it Word Cloud Generator, and there's a lot of free online tools where you can just copy and paste your resume inside, and it'll generate this cloud of words.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it is cool. Yeah, and then it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of interesting because more and more computers don't have the feelings, right? That you
Right.
can't really, before you used to go up to a recruiter and say, hey, and kind of sell yourself, right? The resume came second. Now,
Right.
when you upload your system, the system can decide if you're a good person, if you work hard or not. So they go kind of resume first, right? So
Yeah.
this is a kind of good tool to kind of see how the computer would kind of view you.
Yeah. You have a better chance of getting in the door.
Correct. Better chance of getting to the door. Um, so I guess that wraps up our show. Um, I just really want to thank everybody for supporting, for listening. I've gotten feedback that maybe uh, the fans out there want a audio feed, maybe turning it into an RSS feed so you can just kind of download on your phone and listen to it while you're driving. So I'll definitely work on that and see what I can do. Of course, this is all on a budget, so it's kind of hard, but I'll definitely look into that, and I'll definitely report next week. So please stay tuned and follow us on Facebook page, YouTube channel. Have a good night. All right, recording stop.